Hello, welcome to a Mr. Barnett screencast. Today I'm going to tell you how to add text into Photoshop. Now there's two ways to do this. The first way is just to use the built-in text tool found in Photoshop. That's this T tool that you see over on the left-hand side. And that works great for some situations, but we're going to use Google Drawings to pull in more modern text that look a little bit more modern, a little bit newer. And I'm going to require this for you to use on all your projects going forward. So for this particular assignment, you're actually combining three different photos. I currently have my background photo. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to, I'm going to load up Chrome, and I'm just going to go to my drive. So I'll go to Google Drive. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to click on New, and then More. And then you're going to look for Google Drawings from your list. Okay, and then you'll open that up there. Okay, now Google Drawings, you can change your canvas size, which is this little arrow down here. You can click and drag that to make it a little bit larger if you want. Depending on the size of the text you're doing, you might need to reshape your canvas. The next thing you're going to need to do is grab the text tool. So I'm going to grab my text tool here. And then you want to draw your text box to fill up the entire canvas. Okay, so it takes up the entire space. Currently, I'm on size 14 font, which is pretty small. You're going to want to try to make your font fill up the entire page as much as you can. So let's say I'm doing the words hike. Okay, I'm going to type those in, highlight it. I'm going to start by maybe just setting it up to the max. Looks like I can go way larger than that, so I'm going to type in 250. So I can go even a little bit more. Maybe I'll go 300, see if that fits. I'm just going to go until it can fit the entire screen pretty much. Okay, the other thing you can do to make it easier is if you just center your text. So there's centering and then put it in the middle. Okay, now the reason why we want to use Google Drawings is because of this menu up here. This is your font menu. Okay, if you go down to the bottom, you've got all sorts of different fonts, but if you press the More Font button, there's thousands of fonts, and they're actually being added all the time. So I might sort mine by trending or something like that. And as I scroll down, there's going to be all sorts of fonts. So this is nice because you can actually preview the fonts. You can see what they look like. So I'm just going to go through until I find a font that I think would look cool for my photo that might fit the theme. Okay, just kind of going through. So maybe I want this, I don't know, this is a pirate one. We'll click on that. Okay, so there you go, hike. And then it looks like I can probably squeeze a little more space into there, so maybe I'll jump that up to 370. Okay, now if I want to change the font color at all, now is the time to do it. So for instance, if I want to change it to maybe like a really light gray, okay, now's the time. Now notice in between, you're going to see a checkered background. That means it's transparent, okay? Now, obviously, when I click away, you lose it. But so what I want to do now to get it to Photoshop, I'm going to do two steps. Okay, so I'm going to go File, and then I want to go to Download As, and then you want to make sure it's the PNG. Okay, if you click PNG, it will keep the transparent background for you. So I'll click PNG. There we go. The drawing is downloaded as a PNG. I'll go back to Photoshop. Now, to get it into Photoshop, it's a little tricky. First, we're going to go Open, and then it's in the download, so I'll look into the downloads. I forgot to name it, but it's probably a good idea to name it because over time it's going to get really confusing. But there's my most recent one. So there's entitled Drawing. Double click that and open it. Now what you're going to notice is that your text is in a different tab. So I've got two different tabs up top. So there's a couple ways to get it combined. The first way to try is if you just grab the Move tool. You can actually click and start moving it, and then hold your mouse over and then bring it back in here, and you'll see it gets pasted into there. Okay, and that's a nice, cool effect. Okay, the other way is if you copy and paste it. So I'd have to select it. So I could do Control A to select, Control C to copy, and then go here and do Control V, and that will paste it. All right, so the last thing that you need to do is make it so it's easy to see. So let's say I'm putting it right here. I do have a nice white text, but I've got some white background. So I might want to add a drop shadow or some other layer style to that. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to do Edit Layer Style. And then let me zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, I might add a drop shadow. So I'm going to open my menu. Let's turn that on. And you can already see it starts to add a bit of a shape out there. So I might increase my drop shadow maybe increase the distance. You might need to play with these a little bit. Can make it a little darker. Let's go about there. Okay, something like that. You can add all sorts of different things, but something that makes it easy to see. So there's my hike text now, and it kind of looks like it's kind of popping off the page a little bit. So that is how you add text in from Google Drawings. And this is, again, so the same technique we're going to use for most of our projects for adding text going forward. Thanks for watching.